All right, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have Steve Stomel from ProCat with us. And Steve will be presenting on Need More Productivity, Increase Your Picking Accuracy. Before I pass it over to Steve to cover on this topic, I would like to let you know that we are recording this webinar, and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type those into the questions box. Or if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, you are allowed to do that since we have a small group doing things a little bit differently today. So I'm going to pass it on over to Steve to kick off our presentation.
Angie, thank you very much. The screen is being broadcast, and hopefully everyone can see that. And at any time, please feel free to ask questions. The agenda today is called Picking Perfect Orders with PickRight. We're going to talk a little bit about ProCat and what we do. We're going to talk about the PickRight solution. We're not going to actually demonstrate it today, but we'll talk about it. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the analytics and reporting tools that come with PickRight that make it such a powerful tool.
Yeah, this is Kevin. I'm with Innova. So I just wanted to see your presentation again. I sat in the presentation yesterday, but wanted to pick up some more information.
Okay.
Hi, and I'm Michelle from St. Mary's Press.
Okay. What do you guys do?
We are a book publisher, very small company. We have maybe 50 employees, a very small warehouse. At times we might have 3 people in our warehouse picking and packing, but I just thought this would be very interesting to see what's available.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. We're happy that you're part of the presentation here. So some of the core features and benefits that companies look to when they're considering changing their picking process, first and foremost, is accuracy. You want to eliminate picking errors. And we do that with barcode scanning. It's surprising to me that it's not as important to companies. I say it is, but as we get into this, we find that controlling labor costs are not typically a driver in the decision to implement a new picking technology. But it's always important. The ability to have track and trace and support recalls, the ability to onboard employees in a short period of time is always attractive to distribution businesses. The ability to audit and come back to an order that's been picked and be able to audit it for accuracy is important. And good reporting tools are always a driver. The ability to have management reporting tools always seems to be important to companies. So PickRight will do all of these things for your company. Just a little bit about ProCat. Our whole reason for being, since we founded our company 20 years ago, our whole reason for being is to help distribution centers and warehouses improve their operating performance. The folks that run ProCat, the leadership there, we've been doing this for over 150 years. We support over 200 distribution centers in 40 states across the US. And there's about 2,500 pickers, employees that use ProCat solutions every day to do their jobs. Our whole team is based in New Jersey. We founded our company in 2001, and our help desk, our support team, generally resolves issues for customers within an hour, which we monitor pretty carefully. We measurably improve key performance indicators for all the different areas inside a distribution center: receiving, stock put away, stock replenishment, picking, and shipping. Everything that we do is built on barcode scanning, so that reduces labor costs, virtually eliminates errors, and by having perfect orders, improves customer satisfaction. That management analytics and reporting suite, it's real time, It provides great visibility into your operation. You know everything about every employee all the time. We have a bunch of modules, it's about 14 of them. Our core modules that deal with the core processes that go along, that take place in a distribution center are PickRight, that we're going to talk about today, ReceiveRight, which helps you to receive vendor purchase orders, CountRight, which is the way we do our cycle counting and count inventory. StockRight is our technology for product put away and pick location replenishment. It's our WMS. LoadRight is our solution that scans labels as packages are going on to trucks. And ShipRight is our driver delivery software that allows driver to scan packages as they're making their deliveries. It's got electronic signature capture, and it's a very feature-rich application that lets the driver standardize his delivery process and make consistent deliveries. Makes it much easier for companies to train new drivers as well. We also have developed a series of specialized modules over the years. This has all come from customers requesting help from us. IncentRight, pay for performance modeling that uses the PickRight pick data and allows companies to build pay for performance programs for their pickers. ManageRight also uses PickRight and IncentRight data and does business analytics. It forecasts shift completion time. It sends messages to employees, to pickers, that say, if you can pick 5 picks an hour faster, you will be at the next incentive level and earn more money in the pay for performance program. So it's pretty robust, pretty fascinating program. PalletRight builds logical pallets for companies and sends those pallets out to be picked all as one pass through the warehouse to the pickers. Instead of one pass through the warehouse for every customer order, we build logical pallets, makes your pickers much more efficient. ReturnRight manages product returns, keeps a perpetual inventory of a returns room for vendors. StageRight is appropriate for companies that are combining different warehousing areas together on the loading dock. It's a automated staging program. TaxRights for companies that process cigarettes. TrackRight is long-term data and record keeping. It's designed for food companies so they can support recalls that may come up at any time. And WayRight is a product labeling tool that allows you to print GS1 barcode labels and affix those labels to packages so that they can be scanned at some future point. That's WayRight. Does anybody have any questions about any of these solutions?
No.
Okay, great. We believe, we've been doing warehousing a long time. We believe that the foundation of any distribution center is a solid pick process. We developed the PickRight software back in 2007, so 13 years ago. That software has been out working, helping companies. And basically, PickRight works with your existing ERP. So whatever host software you've got today, PickRight attaches to it and improves the picking process. The host software sends a data file. At the same time it creates a paper pick ticket, it sends an electronic file to PickRight for each customer order. The picker gets that order displayed on this screen on a wrist-worn computer, and they're prompted for their next work assignment. They get visually directed to the pick location for an item. They scan the item UPC code or a shelf tag, a barcode on the shelf, and PickRight gives them feedback. As soon as they do that scan, they either get a chime tone that says, yes, you got the right thing, or they get a buzzer tone that says, wait a minute, you just scanned a UPC code that is not on this customer's order. The software also has the ability to print labels. So if we're putting books in a box, for instance, When that box gets filled up, we can print a delivery label that says this package needs to get delivered to this retail location or this individual if it's being shipped to a specific individual. That printer travels with the picker, so it's pretty efficient. As soon as they call for a label, that label prints and they put it on the box. The result of this process, 100% accuracy, along with the reduction in time that it takes. They're not fumbling with paper and pencil. They're not checking things off on a list. They're not dropping their paper, dropping their pencil. It's right there on the wrist all the time for them to see. And we find that it makes pickers much more efficient. So reasons why companies might buy PickRight. Small to mid-size distribution companies are very appropriate for PickRight. It will eliminate 90% of your picking errors. 90% go away. That's what our customers tell us. It increases productivity for your pickers. Average is about 22%. We've seen as high as 50% increase in productivity from employees and pickers. And that management reporting suite is a real benefit to managers. I'm going to show you some sample reports in a few minutes, but it's a real benefit to managers that are trying to manage a pick shift. PickRight's currently being used in, it's more than 90 now, but close to 100 distribution centers. Easy to learn, easy to use. Training for a new employee, instead of it taking a week or two of them shadowing a experienced picker, in less than 30 minutes, they're up, running, picking 100% accurate orders with PickRight. Installation and startup, it takes about a week for us to come on site and train your guys. We're there with you for about 4 days while we train your guys on how to use PickRight. By the time we leave on Friday, you have anywhere between 10 and 20 pickers using the PickRight system. Your supervisors have been trained on the reporting tools. Your customer service people are trained on, again, the reporting tools, and your pickers all know how to use the technology. PickRight allows look ahead, easier to build pallets. It's multilingual as well. Some of the unique features, PickRight's built around touchscreen technology. So this picture here, if you can see, there's a pick location there, the item is displayed, and the quantity is displayed for the picker. So it's very simple for the picker to know what to do. They're prompted right on the screen, so onboarding of a new employee is pretty simple. You can see the scanner there. That yellow button gets pushed by the thumb, push it with your thumb, and that turns on the scanner. So we scan UPC codes, really accurate. If you're doing anything with GS1 barcodes, which is really a food industry protocol, it automatically extracts item weight, lots, and expiration dates from those GS1 barcodes. With PickRight, because we're scanning, you know exactly what item is in every container, and that allows you to audit any container at any time. I mentioned this before, but the label printing is real time. That eliminates the need for any pre-printing of labels that's so common in many distribution centers. With PickRight, the labels are printed on demand automatically. When we scan a barcode, that triggers a label to be printed for that package. You can see in this picture, the employee is wearing a printer on their hip. That's certainly, it's popular, but I see more than not, I see them putting the printer right on the pallet jack. So it travels with the pallet jack. Either thing works fine. Just some specialty features and functionality for food distributors. That's a big part of our customer base. I mentioned before the extended barcode. We automatically extract data out of those barcodes. Catch weights. The software supports minimum and maximum collars for catch weights, and cumulative. So if you're weighing a case of bananas for a customer, it'll do a cumulative catch weight. Temperature captures built in, expiration date captures, expiration date capture. So again, a food feature. Lot numbers and serial numbers are captured and stored inside PickRight. And product recall is also a core function PickRight. What are the things that make us different? We interface with your current software. So many companies, if you want to put a picking system in, you need to change your host software. We work with your current WMS. We have a WMS, but we also work with existing WMSs that are already in place. Everything that we do is hands-free. So there's a wrist-worn device that allows your employees to work more efficiently. They have both hands available for picking up cases and packing boxes. Again, because we're scanning UPC codes, no need to rely on products being accurately slotted. If an item is misslotted, it doesn't matter. We're going to scan UPC codes, and PickRight won't allow you to pick the wrong item. Fast and flexible implementation. Typically, from the time a company signs, it's about 8 weeks from the time you commit to the time we're out there doing the installation for you. And as I said earlier, installation and training take about a week. The reporting suite, well over 70 real-time management reports that are built into the solution. At this point, I'd be demonstrating the software, but because we're doing this webinar today, we're not going to actually demonstrate. If somebody wants to request that, I'm happy to do that. The demonstrations are typically a one-on-one demo so that we use your data, and it's just more appropriate for your organization. A little bit about our customer base. You can see the dots. We're all over the country, predominantly on the eastern part of the country. This is a quote from one of our customers in Louisiana. They're pretty happy customers. They were one of our very first customers, and they're still using ProCat today. You probably never heard any of these companies, but maybe you do. These just a sampling of the 200 warehouses that we support. All over Lancaster, Philadelphia, South Bend, Reading, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland. Henry's Foods is in Minnesota. These guys are in Arkansas, Maine, Michigan, Wheeling, West Virginia. So companies all over the U.S. Just to show you a few of the reports that are built into PickRight. They're based on Pic Areas. So this company is in a candy area. These are the employees that worked in that area. We track their time. Their non-picking time gives them work time, total number of picks that they made today. And you get to set an area standard or a target. And if the picks per hour is above this target, we display it in green. If it's below the target, we display it in yellow. So you get to know right away if employees are meeting your performance or not. And this is really effective. We consistently hear from our customer base that they've reduced their staff based on having clearer expectations of their employees of what they're asking them to do. There's always 100% or more difference between the pick rate of your strongest picker and your weakest picker. We find that very consistently. So communicating with those slower pickers about your expectations always results in improved pick rates. This report is designed for a company that operates their own fleet, and they have trucks going out every day. These are truck numbers, and then these are areas of the distribution center. The numbers in the corresponding box are saying here in the candy area, truck 267 is 100% completely picked. Candy area for truck 275 is only 20% picked. Yellow means the route is in process. Red means it hasn't been started yet. This 96.2 up here is a challenge. Either a late order came in or somebody didn't finish an order, and somebody needs to click on this cell of the report. It will tell you what still needs to be finished for today. Some customers use this to say things like UPS or dock door number 6 or FedEx. If you're using multiple shipping carriers, it can be set up to be done that way as well. Here, if you tell us how many people you have picking, we know the different areas of the warehouse that you're doing work in. We know how many picks there are that are remaining. You we know the target rate that you've set, but PickRight also calculates an actual rate over the last 2 weeks. Here's what the company has actually done from a PickRight perspective. And that allows us to determine an estimate of how many man hours are remaining on the pick shift for each area, allows management to balance their employees and have the shift completed more efficiently. We also give you a map, a suggested plan for where to put your pickers and forecast what time picking will be completed for today. So pretty powerful information. Sometimes we have situations where an employee gets sick or doesn't come back after lunch. This report can be really helpful to be rerun with the appropriate the current number of pickers, and you'll know either you're in trouble for today or you're not. Here's just another report, picker name and the different areas they've been in and how they're performing in the different areas where they're working in. Some of the cost options, we do lease PickRight. Leasing starts at $1,500 a month for companies that have 3 or 4 pickers. You can lease the whole system for $1,500 a month. There's some startup fees, but that's pretty much what you're looking at there. If you're going to buy PickRight, 7 pickers is generally an $85,000 investment all in. That includes installation, training, the equipment, the software itself. A 10 picker system is about $100,000 and a 20 picker system is about $165,000, just to give you some range of a relevant range on what the software costs. The things that customers need to provide, they need a wireless network throughout wherever PickRight's going to be used. There's a server that's required that meets our specifications. They need a data interface so that whatever that program is that causes pick tickets to print knows to send the data files that we need to ProCat. And Innova handles that part for you guys. You need accurate UPC codes and the data interface files, and then just leadership. You need someone to lead the project for your company. That's our presentation for today. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them and help. And if there's any follow-up to be done, please feel free to reach out to Angie, and she'll get in touch with me with any questions you have or any follow-up that may be required. Thanks everyone for listening. Again, are there any questions that I can answer before we end?
All right, Steve, I don't think anyone has any. Well, thank you for presenting today, and to everyone on the webinar, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching on demand, we thank you. And I just want to let you know that we do have a few more webinars coming soon. Next Wednesday, we have Jeff Progolski from Innova Consulting presenting on how to launch Microsoft Teams quickly for remote work flexibility. And then next Thursday, we have To Control presenting on your data MS, get control with authorization solutions for BC Nav. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And also, Innova has a podcast going on. If you have not heard of it already, it's called the Innova Conversation. And we just want to encourage you to listen to our selection that Steve and Jeff have provided to us over the last year. And they do about 2 episodes a month. And you can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page. And that's innovia.com/podcast. So check out our selection and subscribe so you'll be notified when those new episodes air. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innova webinar. Have a great day, everyone.